What I'm about to say might have y'all questioning my sanity. So, to help you understand how it became my reality, I'm going to share a story. It's Wednesday, April 18th, 2016. I'm in my car driving. I look up in the rearview mirror, and I see this guy behind me in a box truck speeding. But he's looking down at his phone texting. Then suddenly, traffic comes to a complete stop. And boom! My head against the steering wheel. When I got released from the hospital, I had several injuries to my body. Concussion to my head, herniated disc in my back, and a migraine that was consistent and nonstop. For weeks, I laid in the house unable to work in pain. And then the call came. Oh my God, Key, we're really sorry to know you were in a car accident, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to relieve you from your duties. My husband and I quickly burned through our savings account, trying to keep up with our bills, only to fall so far behind that our landlord, she started to leave notices on the door that said, sweetie, I don't care nothing about you and no car accident. If y'all don't pay my money, you're gonna be out of here. I was angry, frustrated, humiliated. It felt like this car accident had ruined my life, and everything was getting worse by the minutes. Until one day I found myself listening to this recording. And on the recording, the guy said these words. He said, the richest place in the world is not the gold mines of South Africa. It's not even the oil wells of Afghanistan. Instead, it's the graveyard. Because far too many people die with their gifts still buried inside of them. Not only did he change my perspective, but I sat at home listening to that recording like a broken record that day. And in my journal, I wrote these words. Things I need to do before I die. Hindrance in my way. On this side of the paper, I wrote, become a successful business owner, travel the world, buy my parents their dream home, mentor other entrepreneurs. I mean, that list is literally still growing. On this side of the paper, I wrote, get out of debt. Earn more money. When I looked at this paper, I couldn't believe it. How is it possible the two things are stopping me from doing everything I want to do with my life? I left the house that day and I went to the library. I borrowed every book I could find on money management. And for the next few months, I piled over this research trying to find the answers. How do I get out of debt? How do I earn more money? But the more I kept searching, this one thing kept taunting me. Is it possible to rebuild your credit without getting into debt? Every book I read, every financial advisor I said, not only is this impossible, but that I wouldn't be able to get access to any financial products in this country unless I had credit. I wouldn't be able to buy a house. I wouldn't be able to get funding for my business. And the only way to get credit is by getting into debt. But this question kept taunting me. So I kept looking for the answers. And then one day, I stumbled on a fintech company. They were fairly new at the time. But they literally had an advertisement that said, build credit for saving money. The voice of reason was like, scam alert, scam alert. But I was fascinated. So I signed up for the account. What I came to understand was that this account worked kind of like a traditional CD account, except they had the benefits of building credit. To put it in perspective, let's say you walk into a bank and you say to the teller, hey, I want to open a CD account. They're going to hand you an application. They're going to say for how much? Let's say you respond $550. They're going to ask you for that money up front. What this company requested was, instead of me giving them the money up front, was that I make an agreement. Over the course of 1 year, I send them a payment of $50 a month. And in return, they would take that money, put it in a CD account. They would then contact all 3 credit bureaus and say to them, I have a loan with them in the amount of $550. And this money was payment towards that loan. Y'all, within 6 months, of opening this account, my credit score went up 93 points. 93 points. It was like somebody was literally waving a magic wand over my credit score. And like any smart person, I wanted more of it. So I went out looking for other companies that offered similar things. I found a second company. They had what they called self-funded credit cards. Mind y'all, I'd never heard of these type of accounts before. So the only thing going through my mind is, God, please don't let me get scammed. But I was desperate to find the answers to this question. So I signed up for the account. The way this account worked was kind of like a checking account with the debit card, except it had the benefits of building credit. So traditionally, if you're going to open a credit card, you need to fill out an application. They need to run your credit score, which is going to create an inquiry and then decrease your credit score. Then they'll send you a card in the mail saying, this is how much you qualify for. You'll get happy and go out and swipe the card. They'll then send you a bill at the end of the month saying, this is how much you owe us. And in fine print, by the way, if you don't pay it on time, these are all the fees we're going to charge you. On the contrary, this company asked that instead of them making the initial deposit in the account, that I would make the initial deposit. How much ever I choose to deposit, that'll become my credit limit. In my case, I chose to deposit $1,000. Not only did they report to the credit bureaus that I had a new credit account with them and my limit was $1,000, I went out and I swiped this card and did things you would do with any other card. I paid my bills, I bought gas, I bought groceries, the stuff you do with the card. At the end of the month, though, the biggest difference was instead of them sending me a bill saying I owed them $1,000, they sent me a statement saying my account balance was zero. Y'all, the biggest caviar was the next month, I was like, let me see what'll happen if I deposit $1,200 instead of $1,000. Not only did they tell the credit bureaus that my credit score, that my credit limit had increased $200, the craziest thing happened. In 2019, one of the largest, and I do mean largest, credit bureaus launched what they call the Boost. If you haven't heard of this program, the way it works is it allows consumers to link their checking account to their credit bureau system. And what they would do was instantly report trade lines that would otherwise gone unreported. Things like your light bill, your water bill, the subscriptions you forgot you were paying for. Instantly, these things would become trade lines on your credit report, and you would get a boost on your credit score. Not only did they validate my theory that I'm not crazy, they proved that millions of other people are looking for the same answers I was looking for. A way to build credit without getting into debt. After all of this, about a year ago, my husband and I became homeowners. When I tell you, I don't think I cried as much on this day as I cried on my wedding day. I was like, oh my God, we're dead and we homeowners. Literally, for hours on hours, I'm crying. But as we moved into this house and started decorating and unpacking, my mind wandered down memory lane. And I felt the pain of the 42% of people in this country who have been denied access to funding for their business simply because their credit score don't qualify them. I thought about the 108 million people who will never know what it feels like to be a homeowner, either because they don't have a credit score or because they have quote-unquote bad credit. I felt the pain of the 77% of people in this country who are in debt and struggling to keep their heads above water. And suddenly, I felt obligated, not only to stand before you and share my story, but to encourage you that whatever your dreams are, whether you want to be a homeowner or you need funding for your business, perhaps you just want to build credit for the sake of having peace of mind, that just in case you ever need it, you'll be able to access it. I'm here to tell you, not only are your dreams possible, but that I am a living, breathing, walking witness. You don't have to build a mountain of death to do it.